All right, episode 5 of 94 feet. And the reason why we call it 94 feet is because the length of the court, 94 feet. And I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jay. I got my brother right here.
You already know legendary Shane.
Shane the man. Shane the man. He dropped off the voice of the people because the people said they ain't want him to speak for him no more.
I got something for you.
He dropped that off. He dropped
the voice
that
of the
off.
people, the legend. Trust me, I got something for you.
Hey, guess where I got this hat from?
Where you get it?
Cap USA in Harlem.
Really?
Yeah.
Got it
I didn't
from
know
home.
y'all. Listen, I didn't know y'all hats were so expensive. I paid
it's
$50 for this
It's
thing,
expensive.
man.
I gotta get a Yankee fitted. I used to have one, but I don't even know what happened. But I definitely got to get a new one.
Man, that's crazy. When I say that price, I'm just like, is this real? Like,
Yeah, everything is more expensive in New York.
New York is crazy, man. But so last episode, what happened was Shane challenged me, right?
Okay.
To if LeBron only had 2 rings, to find 3 better players. I say he wasn't top 5, right?
I gotta hit this.
So I definitely accepted that challenge. But I failed at this one. Shane.
Yeah.
Listen, I gotta give it to him. I couldn't find. Listen, he is top 5. I couldn't find 3 better players. Now, what I was saying is,
Before you even get into, I want to see who you started jotting down. Like, I want to see what your list was when you were like, all right, I got Kobe, I got Jordan,
yeah.
and who were those other names that you just was trying to sneak in there?
It's funny you say that because what I want to tell you is I found 2 people that would be better.
Okay.
The third one,
Just couldn't put a trigger on it.
Listen, the name didn't match the stats. Like, I looked up Magic. No, man. I looked up Bird. Bird's stats is real good.
Yeah.
It's comparable to Bron's, but I'm not picking old boy over Bron, man.
Yeah.
So who I got is MJ, Kobe.
Okay.
I got Diesel, Shaq.
Okay.
I got Curry. Because Curry would have 4 rings, Bron only had 2. And then I had Bron. I couldn't realistically put anybody else above LeBron on that one, man. So you won that one. He is top 5. If he only had 2 rings, Bron is top 5.
Thank you.
You're right on that one. You're right on that one.
I appreciate it. I like being right.
Oh, my God.
It happens often, too.
We ain't going to never hear the end of this, man.
Nah, but really, no, I'm not even going to hold you. So when you had it last week, when you said that Bron wasn't in the top, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think. I'm like, who else would be there? And I'm like, all right, I'm starting to think of Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm thinking Timmy. I'm thinking all these people. And I'm just like, over Bron.
But
and
only Bron got 2 rings, though.
Still, but I'm just thinking about it. Before he even had rings, what was Bron already doing? And then you think about all the players that were great that never got a ring. Like, you think about AI, how great AI was, never got a ring.
Yeah.
You start thinking about all these people, and you're like, to get 2 rings in an NBA is crazy. To get 2. So I'm like, if Bron has 2, he is already better than anybody who doesn't have any rings.
Right.
And then you start to think like, all right, well, his skill level and the stats that he have, and like, I'm like, man, I don't know if I can find 3 guys that can have a better career. Because, like, Timmy might have the rings.
And that's what
I
debated. That's who I debated putting at that 5.
Yeah.
But once you come down to it, Timmy got 5, but
Yeah.
he's not better than Bron, man.
That was my
I
thought
can't
process.
do it.
Because I'm like,
I just can't do it.
is Bron, like I said last week, when I was watching his highlights in Cleveland before he went to Miami.
Right.
And it was the game where he scored 28 straight points versus the Pistons. And I'm like, that Pistons team was a great defensive team. It's not like it was like the Pistons of the day. And it was a playoff series too. And so it's like he's doing that against a playoff team. And he's probably like 23, 24 years old. And I'm like,
that was a contender, though. The Pistons was a championship level team.
That's exactly
and
my
he
thoughts. And I'm like,
them.
28. And then Mike Brown was a coach at the time. He was on a podcast and he was saying how they just stopped calling plays. They just said, get out of his way and just stuff like that, and he's never not done stuff like that in his career. I mean, he obviously has his occasional bad games, but I'm like, Bron, just an amazing basketball player.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. I really did think I was gonna find 3 better, but I found two like debatably like better, Shaq and Curry. Because Shaq 4 Finals MVPs, 4 rings, you know what I mean? Curry 4 rings,
that's valid.
Best shooter ever, you know. But I just couldn't find that third person.
Yeah, and while we on the subject about me being right about some things,
my goodness.
Like I said, I'm the voice of the people.
Goodness.
So another thing I was right about was your Pistons.
Oh my goodness! I knew he was.
We had the whole Pacers versus Pistons.
I knew he was going
the Pacers
there.
versus Pistons. Who was going to be a better team? And last time I checked, I think when we talked about it, the Pistons was 2-1 when we said it. And I don't think the Pistons won a game since you put the hex or the jinx on them or something. Bro, they on a 14-game losing streak. Yeah. That's 13 game. 13 game losing. 13. It's going to be 14. Don't matter. Like, I guarantee, I'm calling it now. I guarantee they're going to be on a 14-game winning streak. I don't even know where they play next.
I'm with you on that. They let me down, man.
Pacers looking better.
I think they had a really good team. I just don't know what the problem is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're right.
Another thing.
I'm going to give you flowers.
Another thing I want to say I was right on
is
when we talked about the Clippers, and I was saying who's going to still be the guy that stays the most efficient, that puts up. Paul George.
You're halfway right.
Paul George
that's
is still taking the most amount of shots and averaging the most amount of points on that team.
Yeah, that's a 0.5 because he didn't. What happened with the first 6 games that he played?
He was still the one that was still scoring. I even watched his podcast, and he said he had a trouble fitting in, and then he came back to his senses and realized, like, I'm Paul George. Yeah. But he said he was trying to, like, lower himself to figure out how it's going to work, and he realized you just got to come to your senses and say, I just got to be dominant. And they've been winning games, and he's been the most, like, he's been scoring the most while they've been winning games. I called that Paul George was going to be.
I give you a half point on that one because the first 6 games, it
was really the first 2.
It wasn't.
If you go back and look at his stats,
it wasn't fit.
Maybe one of the games, 2 max, is where Kawhi Leonard led the team in scoring. But other than that, I think PG took the most shots and averaged the most points during this whole entire stretch overall. I'm just saying, I didn't say they would be great. I'm not talking about the Clippers as a team.
Great.
I'm just saying, I knew Paul George wasn't going to lower himself too much. I felt like he still was going to be dominant. That was my opinion on it.
Okay. Now, so I was wrong about those 3 things, right? So if we do how many things you've been wrong about, that would take the whole podcast. But I ain't going to do that to you this time. I ain't going to do this to you.
We're going to come up with a list next week about our takes.
I ain't going to do that to you. I ain't going to do that to you.
And see what's going on.
But, yeah, so I gave you my 5.
Okay.
Top 10 players all time. Now, this is LeBron got his 4 rings.
Okay. This is what we really working with right now.
This is what we really working with right now.
Okay.
Pause.
Yeah.
But, what's your top 10 list?
All right, my top 10 all time.
All time.
All time. All right, so this is my top 10 all time, right? And so I'm not talking about who. You got some people that may disagree. I know there's going to be a lot of people that disagree. My thoughts on that is I don't care. This is who I feel is a top 10.
Right.
And when I think about my top 10, I just think about if I was a GM, who am I drafting? If I look at the NBA in the last 50 years, who am I drafting 10? If I had 10 draft picks, who am I going with? And so I got my list in no particular order, but I got Kobe.
Okay.
I got Jordan.
Okay.
I got Bron.
Okay. That's like the 3.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You gotta have that.
You gotta have that 3.
Yeah.
If your list doesn't have that 3,
you're casual or you shouldn't be watching hoops.
Yeah, exactly.
Easily.
Okay. So
I can't stand when I don't see Kobe in people's top 10. And I'm like, come on, bro.
Crazy.
So I got Kobe, Jordan, Bron, KD. I got Kevin Durant in my top 10.
Okay.
I got Curry in my top 10.
Okay.
I got Shaq.
Diesel.
I got Tim Duncan.
Okay.
I got...
This is where it gets a little sticky right now. This is where it gets sticky.
I got Hakeem Olajuwon in my top 10.
Oh, my
I got
God.
Magic.
You got Magic in your top 10?
I got Magic in my top 10.
How?
I got Magic in my top 10.
How?
And last, this was a toss-up. And I know I'm going to get a lot of people mad with this one right here. A lot of people mad because who I'm not going to have. I have them in my honorable mentions. And it was a close tie. I was about to say something else. It would have been crazy. It's a close tie, but I got AI in my top 10.
Okay.
And the runner-up, who's now in my honorable mentions, is Larry Bird. And so the reason why I went with my list, just a quick little breakdown, I'll let you say yours. So
say the real list.
Yeah. So
say the real.
We've seen what you've been right about. We've seen what I've been right about.
I
so
got you.
What's a given? I feel like is Kobe, Jordan, Bron, and then I feel like anybody else, and people start to get real like opinionated on it.
Sometimes they get preferences.
KD is definitely in there. He's one of the hardest people to guard. With his height, what he's been able to do, I think, is insane. I think, and whenever people do talk about KD. Or when people talk about the hardest person they ever had to guard, it's usually KD. Like Hoopers really always say KD is the hardest person to guard. Yeah. I've seen Kobe say it. I've seen countless people say it. So, and then it's KD. Curry changed the game, his shooting ability alone. And I got him, this is a side note, I got him better than Magic as the #1 point guard, just being honest. There's a lot of people not going to agree with that. It's the truth.
I'm surprised you got Magic in your top 10.
I got Magic in there because of what he was able to do in that time frame. I usually don't like anything before the 90s.
Yeah.
Because I feel like players now versus players back then will dominate. I got AI just because he was 6 feet doing what he did, scoring multiple scoring titles. I got to go AI. Just off of what he did. Like, you don't find a lot of guys to do what he did or average amount of points that he did. I think he was like 25th on the all-time scoring list to do at that height. I don't think anybody at that height is even in the top 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
I got Elijah Wan because, first of all, he got 2 rings. But he changed the game with his footwork. It's not a lot of big men that had footwork before him. A lot of people were just athletic, like Wilt was just athletic, towering over white dudes. So it was just like, all right. And it was the name Kareem had like he had the sky hook, and it was just he got Magic like diming him. So it's like, all right. But Hakeem is his footwork and everything, and his defense. I felt like is just.
Have you ever looked at Hakeem numbers?
He has great numbers too. They're not outstanding. They're not outstanding. Have you looked at him?
I looked at him. That's why he ain't in my top 10. Magic, too.
But you got to think about it, right?
That's why he ain't in my top 10.
I usually won't vouch for old heads.
Rings. Please don't use that.
I usually won't vouch for the old heads because I don't like that type of, like, basketball is different now. I'm not going to be one of them guys that's like Oscar Robertson and all that stuff. Like, no, I'm not putting none of those old dudes in it. No, they would get dominated. That's why Larry Bird is not in it. None of the old dudes. But Hakeem, you think about it, they were averaging like 98 points a game as a team that year.
Yeah.
Those years. And he was averaging 20 plus. So I'm like, the amount that he was averaging for the amount that the team scored was crazy. Was like, you got to give it to him. So it's like, if he averaged 24, I think that's like 29 in today's game. So it's a little bit different. Think about the amount of points he scored, the percentage of the amount of points he scored for his team would be the same equivalent to the amount of points that Devin Booker probably scores for the Sun. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I think he is amazing, but his footwork changed the game. How many people go to him for his footwork? You got Kobe going to him for footwork.
I'm glad you brought that up.
You got a lot of guys going
to him for the footwork. Have you seen Giannis?
Giannis is the only person, bro. I seen Kawhi go.
Giannis is the only person.
Kawhi, and first of all, and it's only been like 15 games.
You telling me Kobe footwork wasn't good before he went to Kareem?
It got better. That's why he went.
I don't know,
and then
man.
Magic is in there because Magic got 5 rings. He was diamond. I seen some of his highlights. It looked awkward, but I mean, for what he did for that time, I got to put at least one of the old heads, and Jordan don't count because Jordan's game is timeless.
Let me tell you why I don't have Magic in my top.
Yeah, so let me hear your top 10.
So you're going to hit my top 10, but Magic ain't in my top 10 because, yes, he got 5 rings. I'm not using that, though. I'm not using that as a measuring stick.
He was killing before
but he did, he had a short career. But with that short career, he had 5 rings. But you got to think about who he played with. James Worthy, one of the greatest all time. He had He had Kareem. Like, come on, man. You playing with those dudes? Nah, you don't get no nod from me.
I get you on that.
No. And
Okay.
Kareem, I don't know. I think the footwork is a myth, but that's just me. That's just me. I think Giannis just went to him, and Giannis still looks like he got 2 left feet.
It's only been 15 games.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of it yet. That's when you're
Kawhi
supposed to show it.
Kawhi has a beautiful footwork. How many times it looked like he
these players had beautiful footwork before they went to him?
Not really. Kobe relied a lot on his athleticism before he started slowing down his game. Kobe footwork was amazing afterwards. You actually look and see when he started going to him, his game stopped being as athletic, and then he started catching people with all those footwork moves.
So Kobe, you don't think he would have done that by himself? Come on, man. We're talking about Kobe Bryant. Kawhi Leonard, come on, man.
But there's a reason why. It's the same way you go to the gym, you do anything, you go to learn to get better, and you're like, all right, if I wasn't doing this on my own, instead of me having to go in the gym and just figure it out and take a longer process to get in there, how about I go ask somebody how to do it and then expedite that whole process?
I don't know. I think Hakeem footwork is a myth. You going to him paying $50,000 or whatever it is.
There's a reason why people keep doing it.
Listen, you lying to me. I ain't paying $50 for no footwork. You lying,
they
man.
They make like 50 a second.
No, not happening
for them. Okay.
But yeah, let me give you my list. Okay. LeBron. No, MJ. I'm putting my list in order. I had my list in order.
I somewhat did.
You did. You're politically correct. Not.
I'll put them in order.
You ain't want to.
I'll put them in order.
I get that. I get that.
I was just writing down the first thing that came to my mind.
So I got MJ number 1 all time.
Okay.
I got Bron number 2. I got Kobe number 3.
Okay.
I got Shaq number 4. And I'm going to tell you why. One of the most dominant forces, when you go look at his numbers, 4 rings, 4 finals MVPs, that's crazy, man. And he's averaging 30 and 20 rebounds and stuff like that. Man, that's crazy.
The only reason why I don't is because his fall off was greater than anybody else's fall off in this list.
Which, I mean,
when he started going to like the Suns,
we all
Celtics,
know Shaq got
Cavs.
overweight, and he shouldn't have been playing.
Yeah, that's why I can't give it.
He shouldn't have been playing that long.
That's why I should. That's why I took him
at
off.
his height. Come on, man. Come on. We know what Shaq was doing. He played on the team with Kobe.
He might actually be number 5 on my list, 4 on my list. Honestly,
had 4 Finals MVPs with Kobe. Well, I mean, it was the young Kobe.
3.
Or 3.
3, because Wade got that one with the Heat.
It was the young Kobe, but still nonetheless.
Yeah.
Then you got Curry. I did get Curry. I mean, obviously, he changed the game. Best shooter I've ever seen. Best shooter anybody ever seen.
Exactly.
His impact on the game is just crazy.
But he's still the reason
why
now.
He's the reason why we got this 3-point. Everybody shooting 3-pointers.
Exactly.
Kids shooting 3-pointers. AAU, the whole 9. I did have Iverson. I got him.
Okay. You kind of looked at me funny.
Nah, come on, man.
And I was like, you're bugging if you don't have AI on there.
AI was a whole movement, man. He was the reason I had braids. He was the reason why I wanted to be number 3.
The sleeves, bro. The sleeves. Nobody was wearing sleeves before AI.
Listen, I'm telling you, this dude came in and he was
tattoos. Like, people didn't have tattoos.
Nope. He the reason why they went to everybody got to wear suits now.
Yeah, exactly. He came in there with the baggy jeans.
He came in there hood, man, which is I appreciate that. He came in, he had a whole movement, and then he'd go drop 40 on you.
Exactly.
50 on you, whatever you want. And he was talking stuff to Kobe in the finals. I love that.
I love that. Step over on T. Lue.
Come on, man. This is impact on the game, man.
Yep.
And then I do got Tim Duncan after that. I got Timmy. I mean, you got the 5 rings. A lot of people don't like him.
I had a pin right now to check off who you got and I got. Right now, we got a lot of. I think we got like 6 out of the same.
We got everything the same right now.
I think you just waited for me to go first and then realize like, I'm gonna make some tweaks and changes.
Nah. So Tim Duncan, I mean, he Mr. Fundamental. Like, come on, man.
Timmy got to go.
I mean, 5 rings, and a lot of people don't give him the nod because he don't play. Defense crazy because he don't play flashy or like nice off the backboard. Got you, like. But a lot of big men talk to KG. Talk to DeMarcus Cousins or the other big man that said Duncan didn't say nothing to him, but he'll drop him off. Easy. Drop him off.
I heard that he had like little one-liners, like gotcha, like little things like that.
Yeah, Duncan was a side of the slasher. Now next, I got Bird. I have Bird in my top 10.
There's only a certain amount of old people I can have, like from the '80s. There's only a certain amount of '80s players I can allow to be in my list.
Yeah, but once you go look at what he did, look at his numbers.
He's not doing that now. Versus anybody that I got on this list, he's not over anybody on here.
Come on, man, shoot.
Hold on, I haven't heard you say KD, but you named Bird before. All right, finish the list, please.
Yes, sir.
KD got to be somewhere.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Listen, you know why? Because Bird got them. Listen, Bird got the rings, but he never switched up. But that was the time back then.
Yeah.
That was the time back then. KD had to go get his rings to team up with how many other superstars? He had to leave and go get those. Bird created his in Boston. That's why I get a nod to Bird. That's why I get a nod to Bird. I do got like a 70s, 50s. I don't even know what his dude is, but Wilt, man.
No.
I got
no.
Listen.
I'm gonna look like that if I go play. If I go play a bunch of middle schoolers,
listen,
I'm gonna average those numbers.
But again, you can only beat the people that you put in front of you.
True.
You can only beat the people that's in front of you.
I'm thinking if I make a team now, Wilt is not doing this in today's game. He's not doing it.
I'm not saying he's doing this in
90s
today's
basketball,
game.
90s, early 2000s. He's not doing it.
But you can't fault him for beating who was in front
I
of him.
will.
No.
Yeah, I will fault him. I'm sorry, Wilt.
You can't do that.
There's not enough. There's not enough footage. I watched the footage.
Points in the game.
Kobe got 81, bro.
He averaged 50-something points.
That's probably the easiest thing in the world.
Rebounds. That's crazy.
I think he would have been a good player if he played in the 90s.
I think he'd have been solid.
I think he would have been good. I think he would have been an all-star, probably even superstar. But his numbers wouldn't look like that.
No.
So that's why I can't really give him the.
I'm not faulting him for playing who he played. I can't fault him for that.
I can't.
It's just the time
I don't fault him.
In.
But I also don't mean I got to put him in my list.
So we should fault LeBron for going to 11 straight finals. The East was weak.
No, I don't fault him for that.
We can't use that argument.
No, because there was a lot of teams that played him well, and he just was great. So it's like I can't really fault him for that because that's different.
Maybe the middle schoolers played him well.
Nah, bro, you seen the way those dudes used to dribble back then?
Listen, it was
they used to dribble like you see. If you ever give like your girlfriend a basketball and tell them to dribble, you know how they dribble like that. That's how them dudes used to dribble, bro.
Listen, just. But again, I'm not faulting anybody for you. Put them in front of me, I knock them down.
They didn't even have crossovers back then, bro.
Man, I don't think they had a 3-point line. They didn't
have nothing. They didn't have a crossover. I can't fault them for
that. 100 ball though. 100. Come on, man. Let me tell you this. Right now, if you playing middle schoolers, you can't score 100 points. Or not middle schoolers, because middle schoolers
nowadays the game has changed.
Middle schoolers nowadays,
Will probably wouldn't get 100 on middle schoolers nowadays.
Nowadays is crazy.
We'll probably get like 75 on middle schoolers nowadays.
Elementary, you think you can score 100 points in the
Easily.
game? No, bro.
Easily.
Easily.
Just think about it like this, right?
For one, your conditioning got to be crazy. Your conditioning to score 100 points,
bro. I'm 6'3". I'm just sitting under the rim. Pass it here.
Get it,
but
man,
look. This is why I fault you, right?
Man.
Because you got to think, Wilt team had the same level of play as those guys. So if I'm playing with middle schoolers that match up the same way as those middle schoolers too, they still got to worry about their man too. So it's not like they can all just crowd me in the paint. It won't work because you still got to guard the rest of these guys.
I don't know. Will scoring 100. Listen, you got me, man. Hey, we ain't say no footage, but they ain't say. Come on, man. I got Will, and then I got KD. I got KD on that one. I mean, one of the most efficient scorers we ever seen, man. Mm-hmm. Like KD definitely is on that list.
Yeah.
I mean, I would switch like KD and Will, like that bottom three. I could switch them out. You know. Put them around, but this is what I had. All right, this is what I had.
Quick question. All right, if you about to have a draft, who you drafting, KD or Bird? If you knew their careers would turn out and their play, their numbers, everything, who are you taking?
Are we talking about today's game, or are we talking about in the 80s when Bird actually played? Because if we talking about how it used to be,
I'm taking KD. No, first of all, no matter what time period, I'm taking KD.
No,
KD will cook those 80 players, bro.
He wouldn't get a shot off.
Bro.
He wouldn't get a shot off.
KD.
You know why he wouldn't get a shot off?
The fouls, you're going to say the defense. You watch the
foul
footage?
Him.
Have you watched the footage of those games?
And let me tell you, Jordan had to go hit the weight room because he couldn't. Michael Jordan had to go hit the weight room. KD's not hitting no weight room. That boy been skinny since, what you call it. So
I think KD's game translates to any era, bro.
Not that physical
I don't think those dudes back then were that good.
I'm not saying that they was good.
Literally, go watch 80s footage. The defense wasn't as crazy as a lot of old heads like to make it. Man? Yeah, the fouls, they were a lot more flagrant fouls, right? So check this out. There's a lot more flagrant, but it wasn't better defense. But it wasn't, I'm saying like as far as like aggressive fouls, they were a lot more aggressive fouls. But you look at the defense really wasn't that good because people's offense wasn't. Who was stopping KD's hezzy pull up? They weren't even doing that back then.
They used to put people in the game just to hack him. Just to foul Jordan. That's what
he shoots 90% from the free throw line. So you can live at the free throw line and kill him that way.
Listen, mentally, you think KD's tough?
Bro.
Answer the question. Do you think mentally KD is tough? This man lost to the Warriors. He lost to the Warriors. Said, you know what? I'm going to play with y'all.
Valid. I think KD would be able to. If Bird could hold his own, I'm taking KD. I think KD can hold his own.
Bird's mentally more tough than KD. I can see it.
KD's game, they wouldn't even be able to. Bro, look at the footage of those days, man. Like the defense really wasn't as good as it probably looked. I seen so many videos of like Jordan just coming down and nobody really on him, and he getting easy pull ups, getting easy little layups.
That's how easy he made it, though.
And KD can't make it look as easy. KD makes it look that easy now. In 2010,
you can't really touch him.
I'm saying in the last 15 years KD been in the league, it's always looked easy.
And they had the hand check too. Come on, man.
Bro, nobody's guarding KD.
Listen, I'm not saying KD won't get buckets, but it wouldn't be 40
on them dudes, bro.
No, I don't think so.
We got to get a vote on this. We got to get a poll.
I don't think KD back in the 70s, 80s, or the 80s, the bad boys Pistons. You think KD's averaging 40 on them?
He's averaging the same numbers he has now.
No. Is he averaging 40 like you just said? They
Probably.
had
35.
They had 35. Not even close. They don't have anybody for KD. But they had a no layup rule. You come to the hole. So
he don't even score in the paint really.
KD doesn't score in the paint. Yeah, he scores in the paint. He gets a lot of his points from the free throw line too.
Yeah, but a lot of his points are mid range.
I don't see it.
Mid range on things you can't really even foul.
You put Scottie Pippen on KD. KD's gonna get a bucket.
He's gonna get
but come on, man. Scottie gonna get dark.
I feel like that was the same way as like putting PJ Tucker on him in that series.
Let me tell you,
in a different way. Like you put a great defender on KD, he still plays well. Like he still is dominant.
Let me tell you this. So KD, what was it? Last year, 2 years ago, when they played the Celtics, those defenders there, Tatum, and they swept them, bottled KD up. That's without being physical.
But weren't they missing somebody? I think it was just KD. Like they didn't have. I think no Kyrie.
Listen, I don't care if it's just KD. I don't care if it's what. KD's not gonna.
Bird had people too. He had Mikal. Like
he had Mikal. He had Danny Ainge. He had Dennis Johnson.
You get KD those same guys. KD's doing the exact same thing, if not more.
What?
If not more.
Do they win those championships with KD? If you
a healthy KD, yeah.
No. Not even close, man.
Yeah, easily.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Easily.
You have to mentally be tough. KD's not mentally tough.
It's not, but his game is tough. That's all he's gonna need.
I agree, his game is tough.
That's all he's gonna need.
Not mentally tough, man. I just can't see it. I can't see it. Somebody trying to bully KD, Come on, man.
I don't know.
I don't see it, man. Hand checking and everything. Nah,
KD is
man.
hezzy crossing. Dudes didn't even have like deep like. Bird didn't even have a crossover, bro. Like imagine
And he
KD's,
still can average 40. And he
so
can still average 40.
KD is everything that Bird wasn't. He got everything that Bird can do. KD can do better.
Listen to this. Bird wasn't athletic, but he could shot. He could shoot.
KD is athletic.
Okay.
So he's going. Oh man,
I get
he can
what
do
you're
everything
saying.
Bird
Listen.
can do with athleticism
I'm trying to tell you.
and height.
It's a difference between having heart and being athletic. Bird had heart. KD, to me, from what I've seen, he does not have heart, and he is not mentally tough.
We're gonna get a vote on this. If anybody's
we're gonna get
watching,
a vote on this, man.
please
Trying to
drop
tell
some kind
you,
of
but I
comment
don't
if it's
see
on
it.
YouTube or anything
see
else.
it,
I
man.
want to hear. Check the Twitter. I gotta hear this whole debate on here because I just
I don't
know
see
I'm
it,
right
man.
on this one, and I gotta hear everybody else
Listen,
that
and the
agrees.
fact that he said he knows he's right,
I know I'm right.
when he's wrong, that's the scary part. That's the scary
It's
part.
KD over Bird any day.
I don't think so, man. Well, it depends on what time you playing in. Though.
Both.
I think that's what it is. No.
Both times I'm taking K.
You take KD, you take little KD, skinny KD, to where he can take punishment. Yeah, you could,
Bro, the game
sit
wasn't
him
as
down,
tough as
dog.
people think it was. Like I watched so much footage of like not highlights but actual just full games, and you're like, this ain't really nothing. Like it was like
Alright,
five
man.
people that could cross over.
Yeah, you go.
was like
you
like,
go
it
ahead
was-
and catch one of them Bill Laimbeer bowls, and then you saying that now because you can looking at it and taking it is two different things.
That was
Pause.
crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. That was insane.
Yeah, we got to move on from that.
Yeah. On that note,
On that note, so the 1 month report, man. We got players
Mm-hmm.
and teams, man. What you got?
so far, like just looking at the season so far, my thoughts. I mean, first of all, the season I think has been fun. If you take out the texts and the ejections, if you take out the referees refereeing, this season been fun.
Right.
This season been fun. If you even look at the records, everybody's record, there's nobody that's like super past anybody else. I think the Celtics got the number one spot in the East, and they're only half a game over the Bucks.
Right.
Same thing. You go look at the West. Like the top three teams are all like a game within each other, if not a half game.
T-Wolves is number one right now.
You did call that.
Okay. I'm just saying, if I called all this stuff I'm right, we'd be here all day.
I think I got
Well,
a money
go ahead.
line on today, so I don't even want them to lose. I was about to say I hope they lose today, but nah. For my pocket purposes,
No,
I hope they
no.
do win. But everybody's pretty much they're close.
Yeah.
And I like that. It's usually a team that's 3 games ahead of the second team,
Yeah.
and you don't see that right now. And I'm really happy about that. I think the competition level is great. I think last year started off, I think it was like 5 people that averaged 30 last year. This year is only like 2 people. So I like when there's a
Yeah.
couple people around the 30. If it's multiple people over like 32, I'm like,
Yeah.
nah. So I like the way the stats are looking. I like the way the records are looking. And it's just fun because you got teams that's coming up playing great basketball that you didn't expect, or they haven't made the playoffs
Yeah.
in a while. So like you got like the Magic looking crazy. The Pacers haven't been good since PG and all them boys was there. The Timberwolves, like they made the playoffs. They've been making the playoffs, but like on the tail end.
Yeah.
They haven't been making it as like a team that you really gotta play well. Like you gotta play your best basketball against.
Yeah.
So I like that. Yeah, and it's just fun to watch. Like I'm watching a lot of these games, and they're fun.
Yeah.
You got the Pacers averaging 128 points a game,
Yeah, did you see them score 157 points?
bro, and no overtime. either.
150. Well, the Hawks scored 153, but like I'm just like, how in the world?
Stuff like
The
that
Pacers,
is fun.
though.
And you got Tyrese with his little
Tyrese
the
is
skip
going- yeah,
he
that
does,
dude's wild.
makes a crazy shot, starts skipping.
Gotta call it the Oshkosh skip, man.
Yeah, bro. So watching stuff like that is fun. The downside is I feel like there's not as much heart in it as you want it to
Yeah.
be, for the simple fact the refs, the way they refereeing. Like LeBron hung on the rim last night. He hung on it for a little bit, But it was just like, bro, the dude is old, man. Like, let him take his time coming down. Pause. Yeah. And so it's like, I think you gotta give him more.
Yeah,
like you gotta let them show more emotion.
Because
you gotta let them have more fun. You gotta allow more stare downs. If it's not too crazy, like somebody hanging on a rim, somebody getting hyped, like you gotta be able to allow that, man, because that takes away from the game. It's hard to just score, and we talked about this recently. Like it's hard to score, do something crazy, and not react to it. Right. Like it's easy.
Yeah, I think the whole hanging on the rim thing, the whole celebrating, like. Yeah. I think we should do it. Yeah, I think they should let people do it because once, Giannis dunk, he scream, right? Mm-hmm. That puts him at a disadvantage. Mm-hmm. You want to scream? Okay,
you go do something.
Exactly.
You go do something.
We out the other
worthy.
Way. Exactly. But I'm talking about like we out the other way. LeBron hanging on the rim. Okay, yeah, LeBron, go ahead, hang on the rim. The other team is all the way. Let's get the ball out. Let's go.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. That
so
should be on him.
So it puts them at a disadvantage. That put it on him. Like, man, let these people go do that.
Exactly.
Thing,
like really quick, you seen the Tatum hang off the rim?
Yeah.
That one was even worse. Like that one was worse one to call. Like he literally caught his balance on that one because he swung, and so on his way back, he kind of like got himself back before he like came back. Down, but it was like if he would have just let go, his whole momentum would have just took him. So like I don't even think he was trying to do that aggressively because he didn't even make a face. He didn't like hang on the rim and then like do anything. He just hung, caught his like balance, and then came back down, and they teched him for it. And I'm like, bro, I don't think they like Tatum because I've seen a lot of his techs. A lot of Tatum techs don't be like tech worthy, man.
I mean it's that one, and you know it go with Giannis too, man. Like him looking at somebody for half a second and getting don't. Come on, man. Like
they don't like him, man.
Go do their thing.
These are superstars too. Like you gotta,
man.
It sounds like his favoritism, but you can't keep teching these guys up because if they get another one, then they're gone. And it's like people pay to see these guys. People don't pay to see you, ref. Like people pay to see. And you got to give the people what they want. Like, nobody trying to see, like, bro, I had money on the game and Jokic got ejected in the second quarter. Like, nobody trying to see Reggie Jackson and Michael Porter Jr. Like, nobody want to watch the game. Nobody watching the game for these guys, man. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you on that one. Let's just say SGA is still balling.
Still balling?
Yep, he's still balling. He just had a 40 ball.
He lost last night.
Just had a 40 ball. Mm-hmm. That doesn't.
At home too, they lost.
Yeah, but that's still my agenda. My agenda's still alive and well, man. Yeah, the Magic balling, man. I didn't see that one. That's actually my pick instead of the Pistons. I'm just playing. But the Magic. The Magic is balling though, man.
I used to live in Orlando too. So I'm repping them right now.
I was about to say man. We're not doing that.
Nah. We're not. Nobody saw that coming. Actually, if you go back. If somebody goes back and you look at one of the episodes, I talk about the teams that's going to be trash, and I listed the Magic down there. I was like, you're going to have the teams that's trash. You're going to have your Magic. You're going to have your Pistons. So I'm telling on myself right here because I definitely said, you're going to have your bottom teams. You're going to have the Pistons. You're going to have the Magic, and the Magic said,
you know what's making the Magic so good, though, is they play together, man.
Yeah.
They play fast.
They play fast and they play great
points,
defense.
They got points off the bench. They got Cole Anthony. Okay.
Yeah, I seen a couple of 20 balls that he dropped off the
Cole Anthony is balling this year. And you know what's crazy is I thought he was just one of those because his pops, Greg Anthony.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just think, you only got in the league because your pops. But nah, he legit.
Yeah, he's
balling this year.
He's balling.
What is that? I think he's averaging like 15 points right now off the bench. That's pretty good.
That's great. Jalen Suggs playing well too.
Suggs is balling. I thought he was gonna be a scrub though. Honestly.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought both of those guys because they kind of undersized.
Yeah,
and so I was thinking that they wouldn't be great. And then it's like Paulo's decent, France is decent, but they just find a way to just be a whole unit together.
That dude can ball.
Like they all hoop, but they're not like 11 and 5 hoopers. Like I wouldn't think that. Like I wouldn't think they'd be this good.
You know the crazy thing though is Fultz, man.
He's not even playing.
He's not even playing anymore. That dude can ball, man. I mean, his shot is a little, Sean Marion-like, but I mean, I think they fixed it, but whatever. But Jonathan Isaac can defend, man. That team can be scary. That's gonna be a scary out, man.
They got Mo Wagner, the Francis brother. He's doing great on the bench.
Yeah.
He ate one of these great teams up. Either it was the Celtics or there was the Nuggets when they beat them. He dropped like 20 in one of those games.
Yeah, he had like 27 or 21, one of those. Yeah. He was dropping them off. And one thing about Mo, because Giannis don't like him. You know that, right?
Yeah.
He headbutted him the whole night. He just gets under Giannis' skin, man.
It's like Joe Ingles with PG.
Yeah, man. It's just one of those players that when we play him, I'm like, Giannis, just relax. Just dunk on him and go.
Just keep on going about your business.
Like, because he's trying to get you out the game.
Yeah.
Mo gonna try. He gonna get agitated. He's a Pat Beverly.
Yeah.
You would love to play with him.
Everybody kind of has their players that they just kind of struggle against mentally.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Speaking about the Magic, they are, I think they're 3-1 now because they just beat somebody. But the in-season tournament. How you feel about the in-season tournament, man?
Not gonna lie, at first I was a little like skeptical, a little apprehensive on how I was gonna go, and it's literally because nobody understood it. Like nobody understood it. Players didn't understand it.
You understand it now?
I do more.
I
thought it was gonna. See, I thought it was gonna. The reason why I like it more now is because this whole factor where it's like the amount of points scored matters. So, like, say, for example, if you go 4-0, you go 4-0, another team goes 4-0, it's the amount of points you scored that makes a difference. So, it was like, I think Booker hit some crazy fadeaway three, and they were blowing the team out. And usually, you're not taking crazy shots at the end because you usually put your subs in, let it go. But they still putting up points because that stuff matters. So, like, so it matters because it makes a difference in the end. So it's great to see people compete for a longer amount of time in a game. And so that's where all those little fights and stuff would happen. The Draymond choke out in season tournament game.
Draymond wild, man.
Draymond wild. I think he just didn't like it. I think he been saving that choke for a minute.
Come on, man. You can tell that.
Yeah, that was personal.
You can tell that was personal.
And we never even talked about it. About that Draymond thing, but
because that's wild, man. Come on, man. You don't go. That was personal, and I think Rudy hit it on the head though too. Pause.
About Steph.
About
Steph. Play Steph.
He don't want to play without Steph.
Hey, that's a ride or die homie right there.
Yeah, man. That's crazy because I'm just like, that's wild. I with the in-season tournament for me, like, I still don't understand it, but like, why wouldn't you want to just win anyway?
Hoop anyway.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, I know you put it in the point differential. That's cool because then you get to see Giannis for longer. You get to see Dame for longer. You get to see Jokic, Book for longer. You know, people paid to see this, stuff. But at the same time, once you play these guys, they're liable to get injured too. So that's why I'm saying, like, that's cool. And you can't think like that. But at the same time, it's like it's a real thing. Like, you have to consider that.
That's
true. When is your point differential gonna, like, when does that benefit outweigh the cost of your player getting hurt? If you're up 30 points with 4 minutes left, like, that's crazy to me. I don't know, but I think the whole thing is you got to win. Like,
I think that comes with the territory as well. Like, injuries, stuff like that is going to happen. It's like, I don't mind seeing these players for an extra couple minutes, even if it's possible that it may be an injury. And it's not like at the end, if they're up by a lot, I don't see the number one player just going crazy. I just feel like they may be like Booker starts dominant a little bit more. And he just took that last shot because he's like, I'm booked, so I can just go crazy. But I think I definitely like it. Some of the courts are kind of funky, the layout. Some of them I like. Man. Some of them are like look crazy. I think the Hornets one is pretty simple. Like, they got a light color, it's easy. But then you got like the Raptors, I think is like dark red and black. I'm like, I can't get with that. Yeah. But I like the little prize, the 500,000. And it's a small amount to guys like Giannis and Jaylen Brown that make $60+ million a year. But for the little guys that don't make a lot of money, I think that's huge. And Dame was talking about it. And I think he hit it. He made a great point because it may not be as much to them because of the contracts that they have. But it helps the guys who don't make a lot of money. It helps them play a little bit harder, seeing, oh, Dame is actually trying to win this, man. He's trying to get money in my pocket. It may not matter too much to him.
Yeah.
But, like, it makes me want to play harder.
Yeah.
Because I see they're playing harder for my pockets in a sense. And not like this is the sole reason, but you can respect that. It helps a team get closer.
When Dame said that, I'm like, this dude, I can respect that all the way up and down. Because he was like 500,000. He's like, that 500,000 can change somebody's life. These two-way players that's making, what, 50,000 a year, you know? Like, give him 500 and you, come on, man.
It's crazy.
Of course. And Dame a real one for that. He a real one for that.
Yeah.
But you know who not playing in the in-season tournament? Khris Middleton. Oh, so I rocked the boat a little bit on Twitter, and rightfully so. I think so. So let me tell y'all this, right? So Khris Middleton, right? So what I said is he need to get shopped around. And I said, Bucks fans, y'all not gonna like this, but it's time for Khris to get shopped around. And I got like 100,000 impressions. I got so many comments, and I'm not one that's gonna sit on and comment to everybody, so I'm not doing that. But a lot of the comments, what I was seeing was his value is low right now. One thing you're not understanding is why is his value low, Bucks fans? Because he's injury prone.
Always.
This is what you want on your team, right? Like, you want Khris Middleton on your team. He's injury prone. Mm-hmm. This is what you want to pay. However much. What does he make? 40 million a year or something? 50 million a year? Something crazy.
Yep.
You want an injury prone? Nah, man. I mean, and then once you actually start to break it down, right? So let's break this down. After the championship season, right? The next season, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't play against the Celtics.
Yep, hurt his knee.
Yep. Giannis took him to 7-0. Shout out to Giannis. Took the Celtics to 7.
Crazy that series.
So Khris didn't play. The next year, he only played 33 games, right? Only 33 games during the regular season.
Wow.
Then he played because of the knee the year before. Then he played in the playoffs. You know, we flamed out. Jimmy Butler, you know.
Cooked us.
This season now, right? This season. He's on a minute restriction, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And his wrist, he had a wrist injury as well. Had that wrist injury as well, right? So then you start breaking down these injuries, and now it's his Achilles. Now, anybody who hoop know that Achilles ain't nothing to be played with, man. Yeah. There ain't nothing to be played with. So, and then I start seeing a lot of people saying like, oh, who you going to trade for him? Who you going to trade for him? I don't know. It's not my job.
Yeah.
But you know what I do know? You know who job I do know this? John Horst. I watched John Horst turn Eric Bledsoe to Drew Holiday to Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
You telling me he can't get
He can't find a way.
You telling me he can't find a way and get Khris out of here? I'm not saying trade Khris because I like him as a 3 on our team. Yeah. Like, I like him as the third option. But if he can't stay healthy,
what's the point?
You're no good to the Bucks on the injury report. You're no good to the Bucks on the injury report.
No.
I seen Horst turn Bledsoe into a top 75 player of all time in Dame Lillard. Mm-hmm. He can get something done. Now, I'm not saying trade him because I do like Khris Middleton. But I'm saying shop him around, see what's popping, you know. Now, what do you think? Do you think we should trade him, shop him? You think he should stay?
So you're nicer than me, right? Because I think it's time. It's time for him to go. And I love Khris Middleton, man, because I like him as a person because he's not loud. He's pretty chill. Like, when he is on the court, he's doing his thing. So it's like that loyalty you want to kind of have. And so for the longest, I just been trying to have this loyalty to Khris.
Yeah.
And after
loyalty
the most
only
recent
goes
game,
so far in the
exactly.
NBA,
and I'm like, after the most recent game, when it's like, come on, it's just always something. It's the Achilles, it's the wrist, it's the knee, it's the eyebrow, it's the eyelashes, it's the fingernails. It's just too much. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, we don't have a super deep team outside of Giannis and Lillard.
Yeah.
And Brook is stepping up to the plate and being that third guy.
Yeah.
Like, Brook is the third best player on our team. I like our team, but right now, I don't think we can be. We can't win a ring with Brook being our third best. Third best scorer.
Okay.
Third best scorer. I feel like we need somebody because
Okay.
the Celtics, the Nuggets, like they will give us trouble.
Yeah.
If we can't defend and we can't outscore them. So like the Celtics, they're going to score. And then they got some defense in, like the way they guarded us last time was great. I feel like if we are going to be a team that can't play defense, and if this continues on, then we got to be able to outscore opponents.
Yeah.
Same way like the Pacers. I probably I got to put $1 in a jar how many times I say the Pacers. But for the simple fact, the Pacers aren't great. But the way they're winning games is not defense. They're just outscoring teams.
They're running.
They just run it. So it's like for us, if we don't outscore a team, then we lose.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's how you play the game.
Yeah.
But like our defense is so trash. So I feel like with our defense so trash, we got to outscore teams, and I don't know how long Brook can continue to having these 20-point games. Like I don't trust Brook to just keep dropping 20 at 35 years old. I just don't see it. So like in order to compete for a ring, we got to get somewhat younger. And so obviously you see who else is trying to get shopped around is Levine. I would love to have a Levine there, but I feel like we might have to give up too much to get him. We would have to give up too much to get him, or I think they're trying to break that whole team up.
They need.
I wouldn't mind taking DeRozan. He's 34, but DeRozan plays games. Like I looked down and I saw he is actually one spot behind Curry in all-time scoring. I was like, really?
Dang, I didn't
know DeRozan.
Yeah.
Was one place behind Curry in an all-time scoring. And I looked and I was like, his number's always 22, 23, 25, but he always plays like 90% of the season. Like it's a lot of 76 out of 82, a lot of 75 out of 82, 79 out of 82. And I'm like, that's what it is.
The only reason why I wouldn't want
age.
DeMar, no.
Can't shoot three, can't space the floor.
No, it's not even that. It's
Okay.
because I think he got that ego thing where he's hit a lot of clutch shots and he's a clutch guy. I need Dame to have that ball, man. I would love him if he's able to come and fit in that plug and play.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to shoot threes. Just step in, do your mid range. I feel you on that one. But DeMar, he's gonna want to take a shot at the end of the game. And it's gonna make me. I can't.
Really?
Yeah,
I like DeMar.
I like him, but I don't see him.
Yeah.
He's that alpha dog type feel. Like, hey, I need to have the ball at the end of the game.
But he's always had to be that role. So we've never seen DeMar not the number one option on a team.
Yeah.
Even I seen Levine be the one that's just start going crazy in the fourth. And so I'm like, he's in some places he's like let Levine, who's not like, it's not like Levine is Dame or Giannis, but I seen him let Levine.
I think
have these
Levine is
moments.
more of a plug and play. Like I
would rather have Levine.
would rather have Levine.
3-point shot, our athleticism.
But then you got to think about like,
who we giving up for that?
and like defense though too, man.
Like Chris Middleton's not doing anything defensively right now.
What
so
was
it's
that
like,
stat that you saw? I don't know, man.
Nah,
I don't know,
was just
man.
lucky. I seen him get
know.
blown by so many times, bro.
Yeah.
So many times.
Nah, but okay. So who you got for your 94 feet top player of the week?
Top player for the week. Man, this was actually a tough one on who's the top for the week.
Oh no, this was easy for me. This one was easy.
Really?
Yeah. Last week it was tough. This week, it's easy.
I'm gonna go team first. Go team first.
Go team first.
Team is obviously the Magic. Magic is the team of the week. I had another option too because obviously they going crazy because they just
Good.
it's just good. Like
Suns.
I had the Suns as another option because they're on a 6-game winning streak.
Yep.
But I went with the Magic because nobody saw this coming. Pause. And then the second thing is the teams that they beat. They beat the Nuggets this year. They beat the Bucks this year. They beat the Celtics. Like
Those are three big
those
wins.
are
Man.
the contending teams. Like those are
yeah.
Those are the three teams that are like the favorites. I think it's Celtics, Bucks, and Nuggets are the three teams that are the favorite, and they just beat all three of those teams on this streak. And so that's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So I gotta go.
Magic is balling. I had the Magic and the Suns.
I had them too.
Because the Suns, I mean, they've been balling. Man. 6 straight. Obviously, the week was 3-0. Now my player, it's really only 2, and they're on the Suns. I got
Book going crazy.
I mean, you got Book
too, yeah.
You got Book. He averaging 31 points a game.
He almost had a triple-double, too.
Almost had a triple-double. Now, he's averaging, over this past week, shooting 47% from 3, man. And he's giving up 6 helpers, too. He's dishing,
he's going crazy.
Come on, man. Like, we ain't never seen Book with these helpers like this, like assisting and stuff like that. Come on, man.
Yeah, one of these games, he had like a 16 assists. He had a career high recently.
Yeah, man, Book is in a different bag right now, man. I think he's probably a top 10 player right now in this league. Devin Booker is a top 10
easily.
player. Yeah.
Easily. I think I don't know anybody that wouldn't put him up there.
Yeah. Who's your
player of the week?
Player of the week.
So I had a lot of obvious choices, but you know how I like to choose like sleepers or people that don't really get a lot of recognition.
Yeah.
You're going to be super surprised at this because this is super left field. A lot of people who don't know hoops won't even probably know who this guy is.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's Alperum Sengun, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce his name 100%.
Rockets.
On the Rockets. He's good. He's like a Jokic, a young Jokic. The reason why I would go with him, because they won a losing streak and they started getting back to winning, but like he's been that piece to winning. And they played the Nuggets. They beat the Nuggets. Nuggets suck on the road anyway. They always suck on the road. The only reason why they're so good at home is because the elevation makes a huge difference. Like you look at the Nuggets, they're actually undefeated at home, but on the road they're 3-6 or something. Something like that. So it's like it's not like they beat a huge team, but Jokic is somebody that he said he looked up to. Jokic is a reigning Finals MVP, and this kid went at him, got the win. Put up great numbers too. Like you expect Jokic to have crazier numbers because Jokic's numbers are always going to be crazy. Yeah. But his numbers weren't too far behind his, and I'm like, I like this kid. I like where his team is going, and man, I just had to give it up to him, man.
Yeah,
he's doing great.
Yeah, I keep hearing his name, and I watched him one of these games last week. He can ball, man.
I like him, man.
He's not one of those that, I'm about to turn this dude on. He don't have like, I mean, he'll pass it flashy sometimes.
That's like, he has like some dimes.
Throw it behind his head, all that stuff. But as far as like turning it on to watch him, I don't think he's that type of player.
He catches bodies too. Like Jokic is not gonna poster nobody. Have you ever seen like Sengun? He actually be postering people.
Yeah, I mean he's just not really as flashy as like. I'm not turning it on to see Sengun. I'm turning the game on.
Now I would.
I don't know, man.
He's not that crazy, but like I'm watching his game. I'm like,
he looks
better than Jokic's game.
He's like, not must see TV for me.
Not yet, but for this week. I give him that. I give him the title for this week.
So the 94 feet not player, or let's go team first. I'm gonna go team first.
Team.
I got the Pistons, man.
It's hard not to,
I got
bro.
The Pistons. It's gonna be like the not player can always be the Pistons, or not team can always be.
It can always, as long as they're on this streak.
Always be the Pistons, but. I'm gonna go with the Pistons. I had another team. You probably picked that team, but I got the Pistons, man. They letting me down, dude.
Yeah.
I thought Cade was comfortable. Durant in the middle. They got a new coach. Jaden Ivey coming off the bench. They got Alec. Listen, they got Alec Burks back. Like, they still waiting on Bogey to come back. Like,
I remember that was your selling point right there. You were like, they got him.
And Bogey's coming back. I'm like, this team's gonna be legit, man. Sad, man. Sad.
2-14 is they down
13
bad.
straight. Come on, man. Yeah. So who you got for your team,
bro? The reason why I got this team, because you can always put the Pistons down.
Yeah.
And I think last week we went with the Wizards, so I'm like, the Wizards, they belong on that list.
The Wizards can belong on that list.
But who I got on there is the San Antonio Spurs, bro.
That's who I had too. I had the Pistons
The Spurs.
and Spurs.
The reason why I got the Spurs on that list is because they have Wembanyama, right? They have the number 1 draft pick, who's supposed to be like this outstanding player. And it's not like he's playing horrible. He's kind of inconsistent. Like one game he had dropped 22. Next game he got 13. Next game he got 25. Next game he got 8. Like, so he's super hit or miss. But and then you got Popovich as a coach. So I'm like, you got Pop as the coach. You got this guy who's supposed to be a generational talent. 9 straight losses. It's just not a good look. 9 straight losses, not a good look.
Might be 11 actually.
Yep, it's 11.
It might be. I don't know. I remember some double digits. I remember two.
So it might be the
teams.
Wizards that's on a 9. I think I seen them at a 9. I'm not even gonna pull it up. It's not even worth my time. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time to pull up who's at the bottom. I gotta scroll down to the bottom of the list.
But I think theirs might be 11.
Yeah, I gotta scroll down to the bottom of the list. I can save my time
but
on that.
It's funny you say Victor because that was my not player of the week.
Yeah,
because it's like you're supposed to be this all-world talent.
and
you're
not getting no wins,
and
bro.
You're not getting no wins.
You're not getting no
man.
wins. And what are we doing?
7-4, all this skill set. Everybody's saying you could do this, do that, but it seems like you can do this, do that, but you can't do the one thing that you can't
get
win.
no wins with Pop as your coach.
And Pop as your coach. This is the Spurs organization.
Yeah.
Now you know they
You gotta get
a couple
win some
years.
way.
A couple years been terrible. You know, but like, come on, man. This is a winning organization.
It's a
You
bad
can't
look.
get a win. You're generational talent. I don't know, man. You're looking like you're putting up a lot of empty stats right now.
Yeah.
If your stats do not equal up to wins,
Then what are we doing?
what are we doing here, man? So who's your not player?
All right, so my player who deserves this title this week is no other than Jaren Jackson Jr.
Oh man, yeah.
JJJ
Yeah, man.
is on the list, man. Bro, absolutely trash.
Klay Thompson was your pick like
Bro, notice every time we put somebody, and what did I say? I said, Klay, I said, this is not to hurt you. This is to help you.
Yeah.
Because I know they watch
had
it
a
every
20
time
ball,
we put.
had a 23.
Exactly.
Then he had, 17 or something
And
like
he
that?
got a dub. Every time we put somebody on his list, whether it's me, whether it's Jay, every time we put somebody on the list, they start performing on the court so much better. So we do this simply to help you, and it's not to hurt you. It's not to shame you. Trust me, we like you guys.
Right. We
and
just
it's
keep
only
it
to make you better. This
Yeah.
is to inspire you. This is for you
We
to
keep
go and do
it
the
all
things
on the court. This ain't nothing
we
personal.
know you need to do. It's nothing personal. We just know that you come here after the week, pull this up on Tuesday, and say, all right, are they talking about me? And once
I
they
need
see
to
that,
do better.
we got to do better.
Exactly.
And so I give it to. So when I put you guys on this list, so JJJ, you on my list this week, and I expect a change. Reason why he's on my list, right, is because he made the All-Star team last year, reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Without Ja, you telling me Ja makes that much of a difference? Ja is good, top 15 in the league. But you telling me y'all 3 and 13 or something without him? Does he make that? If you're an all-star, I don't see. If you're an all-star, you shouldn't be 3 and 13 without a player. I think that's crazy. And I looked at his stats too. His best shooting game in his last 5, he shot 41%. His best shooting game in his last 5. For him, I will pull up his numbers. I will waste my time to pull up his numbers real quick.
He ain't really the second best though. I think he.
Bane.
I think Bane is probably the second best on that team. He putting up numbers, but again, them empty stats, buddy.
Because he's not getting help. JJJ is supposed to be the second guy.
Yeah,
He's supposed to.
He's like you said, he is an all-star, but man, that dude is not putting up. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be better than what he actually is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I don't know, man. Bane been balling though. You think they make the playoffs? Ja comes back game 25.
Does he make that much of a difference?
Man, you just call him a top 15 player?
You got to remember, this is the West that they're in.
You sending a top 15 player?
But this is the West. They might make
You
the
can
play.
get in that play.
They might get in the play-in. I give you that because the Blazers going to be hot garbage. Spurs, hot garbage. There's a lot of teams going to be garbage, so he might just make it. So here we go. Just really quick. JJJ's last 5. Actually, his last 4 because this is live now. He's playing the game. Right now, he's 1 for 7 in his game versus the Timberwolves. He's 1 for 7, shooting 14%. This is crazy. This is his live stats at the moment. So after this episode, we might see him get a line.
Shoot.
But here we go, right here, right?
Hey, I'm picking the over on JJJ next
next game, I'm taking the over on him.
Next game.
Here we go. 35%. He shot 7 for 20. Next game, 41%, which was his game of the week. He shot 5 for 12. Next game, 7 to 21, 33%. Next game, 5 of 13, 38%. Right now, in this game, he's played 17 minutes. He has 5 points. He's shooting 1 for 7. He's 0 for 3 from the 3.
Hey, but he is playing Timberwolves, man. Stall him out a little bit.
Bro.
He's playing the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves is a contender, man.
He's an all-star, bro. He made the 1 for 7 with Cat guarding you? It's not like Rudy's guarding him. You know it's Cat guarding him. You know it's Cat guarding him, and he's allowing Cat to stop him, make him go 1 for 7, bro. Nah, trash, not of the week. The crazy thing is, when I say this, I usually try to give hope to players. I feel like JJJ might be the anomaly and not turn it around next week.
Nah,
after he sees this, he's still not going to turn it around. He's just one of them players. I feel like it's no way, bro.
Yeah, he's supposed to be balling.
No
though. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm gonna keep it a bean. He's supposed to be
41%?
balling, man. He's supposed
That's
to be balling.
insane.
But yeah, I mean, Bane took over that, man. You know,
So it should be easier. If Bane's taking those shots, you should get some easy ones. Because if their scouting report is focusing more on him.
I mean, what you got to start looking at now is Ja Morant give him a lot of his points. Does Ja Morant make him an all-star?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Ja makes him an all-star, man.
Sad times we're in, man.
Yeah. But that concludes episode 5. Next week we're gonna have a special guest, and they're good. They're really good. They're really good, man. Wait till y'all see that one. Want to say anything to the people about being wrong? Or?
Nah, you know I'm always right. But this is definitely a great episode. Episode 5, we made it to episode 5. Huge congrats to us, man.
Yeah,
and we're just
man.
gonna keep on going,
That's
keep
big.
on getting better, and be back for episode 6.
Yep, episode 6. All right.